Good evening, everyone. How are y'all doing today? All is well? Enjoying the event so far? Enjoying the poetry from these beautiful young poets so far? The dynamic speech from our Commissioner, Khadija? The dynamic speech from the Judge, Fatima? Those powerful, wise words from our brother, Baba Rashid Nori? I hope that you all are benefiting from this and becoming inspired. Because that's what tonight is about. Tonight is a night of inspiration. Inspiration and motivation and an opportunity for us to come to a realization of how important it is to address this issue that Save Institute is taking on. Right? So right now, many of us feel very good. It's a nice evening. We have nice food. However, there are many atrocities that are taking place right now in so many of our neighborhoods, across Atlanta, across the United States. We are seeing so many of our young brothers lost, one after another. Murder, crime, violence, incarceration, on and on and on and on. And this is a real thing. And it's been going on for a very long time. So I'm going to speak a little bit personally tonight, if that's okay. Is that all right? So I want to go in a little bit deep and share some personal things with you for a few moments. So I'll start by telling you a story of the neighborhood that I grew up in, right? So I grew up in Philadelphia, a neighborhood called Winfield. So those who know Philly, Winfield is not it's not the worst neighborhood in the city, but it's not the best one either, right? But even in a neighborhood like that, so many of my friends that I grew up with, ended up going down some very, very sad paths. So I want to start with that and show you some of the faces of some of the young men that I grew up with. All right, so this is a picture on the screen. Can y'all see this picture? Right, this is 5 young men that grew up in my neighborhood, right, within 2 to 3 blocks from me. During the time period that I moved from Philadelphia down here to Atlanta to attend Morehouse College, during that time period, while I was in school, they were hitting the streets even harder. Every single one of these young men who grew up in my neighborhood were murdered, one after another. I was getting the news from down here, so-and-so got killed, so-and-so got killed, right? And this is a large part of what motivated me to dedicate my life to doing something about this problem. Seeing so many of the young brothers that I knew personally go down these negative paths, something had to be done. And so 20 years later, we're still fighting this fight. And we're still determined to figure out a way to do something about this problem, because it is a huge problem. Throughout my journey of working with young people over these past 20 plus years, I've had the opportunity of working with hundreds, perhaps more like thousands of youth in this country and as well as overseas as well. And throughout this journey, I've seen many, many beautiful things take place. Many beautiful stories, great success stories, but I've also seen a lot of tragedies as well. So next I want to show you another set of pictures of some young brothers who have all lost their lives. Right? So the 4 young brothers that are on the top of the slide there were all my students at one point or another. And every one of them did not make it. These are young brothers that I had the opportunity of working with directly and very personally. The young man in the Save shirt, he actually joined Save Institute a little over 2 years ago. He joined us really just for a couple days. This is the grandson of our dear brother, Brother Dawood, who was one of our instructors at Save. He joined the program for a couple days, and he really, at that point, he was showing so much potential. He wanted to do so many great things, but he decided that he wasn't finished with the streets yet. And unfortunately, earlier this year, we lost him. The young brother to the bottom of the screen, this is the brother of our student Tahir Rashid. This is a young brother that was on his way to save. He was supposed to be with us. He was supposed to be able to get saved. However, he didn't make it. So I'm showing you these images so you have a sense of how real it actually is, but it's not just my personal experience. Many of us in this room, probably all of us in this room, have experienced some of these very same things of the people near and dear to us. And unfortunately, most of them are young black males. So I say again that we have to do something about it. The thing about it right now in this country, in the United States, it's estimated to be about 60,000 plus youth development organizations in this nation. Right? That's a lot of organizations that are supposed to be focused on the development of our youth. However, the problem isn't getting any better. In fact, the problem is getting worse. I'm going to say that again. 60,000 youth development organizations in one country, and the problem of our youth is not getting any better. The problem is getting worse, especially for young black men. If you look at the statistics of every single one of these categories that's listed on this slide, you see the same group at the top of every single one of them. Black, male, youth. And it's not by accident. It's not by accident. It's actually very purposeful and systematic. So why is it that it's not getting any better? Why is it that these things are actually getting worse? Why? What I say is that all of the well-intentioned people and organizations around the country that have this mission of helping to uplift and develop youth, there's one thing that oftentimes is missing. It's the right formula, right? It's good to work with youth. It's great to be a teacher. It's great to do all these wonderful things, but we have to ask ourselves, is what we're doing effective? Is it actually effective, or is it just there to make ourselves feel good? And honestly, me personally, I was, like I mentioned, I worked with youth for a very long time, and a lot of the programs that I was involved in, a lot of the programs that I helped to orchestrate, it was really making us feel good, but it wasn't really having that much benefit on the young people that we were working with. So I say again, what is necessary? What is necessary is the correct formula. So after many years of studying and researching and trials and errors, I believe, my brothers and sisters, I believe that we have found the formula. The formula for the upliftment of our youth, which is encompassed within the acronym of SAVE Institute: service, plus agriculture, plus vocational training, plus entrepreneurship, will result in not just any type of success, but purpose-driven success, right? Because success can mean a lot of different things, right? We have a lot of people in our society who, quote-unquote, made it. They're wealthy, but they're still doing a lot of very negative things in the world. So it's not sufficient to be wealthy. That's not what we're promoting for our children. Oh, just go make a lot of money. No. We want purpose-driven success. So yes, we want you to make that money, but we want you to even more so make impact upon the world. That's what we're looking for. So my brothers and sisters, again, I believe that we have the formula. However, it is no longer a formula that is a theory, right? At one point, this was the theory. But it's no longer a theory anymore. This has actually been tried, tested, and proven. So this formula has resulted in the mission of our organization, right? To save black male youth from cycles of poverty, crime, incarceration, and lack of purpose through these four elements that make up this formula: service, agriculture, vocational training, and entrepreneurship. So with our organization, we have formed the way in which this will be played out, right? So with this formula, we implement it in different ways, right? We have outreach programs where we go out into the community, we do mentorship, we do Rise to Manhood retreats every single summer. We do a lot of different types of things when we're out in the community doing these types of outreach programs. Also, we have the meat and potatoes of the operation, which is our full-time, tuition-free private school for 7th through 8th graders. Right? This is our opportunity to spend all day, every day with these young brothers and pour our hearts and souls into them, giving them everything we can possibly for them to be successful. And then this year we were able to also launch a vocational apprenticeship program, which we have a few of our graduates, a few of the young men who graduated last May. They're going through it now, which they have the opportunity to get paid while continuing to learn. And next semester, they'll be taking classes. They'll be starting their courses at Atlanta Technical College. So, there are many different things that one can say about Save Institute, and I'll just mention just a few right now for the sake of time. A few of the things that make the specific type of education a little bit unique from other things that you may find. One is that all of the academics that we provide, the math, the science, the social studies, and so forth, they're not just taught in the way in which that they're normally taught in other places, right? They're rooted in these pillars, right? The service is included throughout the social studies curriculum. The agriculture is included throughout the science curriculum and so forth, right? Tuition-free private school, removing all barriers. There's no barriers, no financial barriers from entering into our program, right? Hands-on, project-based. There's less time spent in the classroom and much more time spent in the world doing real things, making real impact. All right, our instructors and our leaders are all positive black male role models. So if you look around the room, and I'm gonna highlight them a little bit more later, you see positive black men having a positive impact on these young men that attend the program, right? And our students are allowed to lead. So we don't just teach them, but we send them out into the community to be leaders themselves. And throughout this process, we always make sure that they are fostering a sense of brotherhood and unity and working together, right? So I spoke briefly about our vocational apprenticeship program already. Alhamdulillah, it's going very well so far. These young brothers are going through, they're getting a lot of really good training, and we're going to see some dynamic things from them very soon. Also, I mentioned our Rites of Passage retreat. We're coming up on our 4th annual one this coming summer. So if you have a son or a nephew or a cousin or any young brother that's in your life that you believe could benefit from this type of program, we take these brothers out into nature and allow for them to have the best 3 days of their life. So I highly recommend any young brothers to participate in this process. We've also had the amazing opportunity of taking our students all over the country. Right? Take them to Philadelphia, New York, and Cleveland, and Detroit, and Florida, and so many other places, right? We continuously have them traveling around so that they can be exposed to the world, exposed to new people and new places and new ideas, expanding their minds so they can see what is possible, right? There's much more that's possible than what you see in your neighborhood. So, like I said before, the SAVE formula is no longer the SAVE formula is no longer a theory. The SAVE formula is no longer a theory. It's been tried, it's been tested, it's been proven, and we've already seen many great results. So, of the many results, we don't even have enough time for me to go into them. Right now, if we should focus just from the perspective of higher education, right? We've had 10 young men graduate from our high school so far. Right now, we have 16 young men enrolled or headed to higher education. 11 of them will be starting next month in January at Atlanta Technical College. 1 going on to Gwinnett Tech. 1 enrolled already in Berea College on a full scholarship. 1 enrolled at Tyseer Seminary. 1 headed to Georgia State University. 1 headed to pilot school on his way to becoming a commercial pilot. And 4 right now enrolled in our vocational apprenticeship program. And every single one of these brothers are very impressive. These brothers are making us proud, right? They are dynamic young men. They're going against the statistics. Everything that society tells them that they're going to be, they're going against that. because that is not who they are. So what I tell them, show the world who you are. And they're doing it. They're doing it. So now, looking ahead, one of the things that is very, very necessary is not to just have the right type of program, right? Not even just the formula, but in order to go along with that very nice program or that curriculum, you have to have the necessary environment that will cultivate everything that you're trying to teach, right? The environment is everything. So we have been blessed to acquire 78 acres of land in Lithia Springs, Georgia, just 20 minutes from downtown. Well, right now we're building out a brand new campus. So last year at our gala, this time last year, we announced that we had acquired this land. And over this past year, we have gotten busy, right? And we've had these young men engaged on the land, farming and building and learning and growing. So all these pictures you see on the screen right now are actual pictures on the land. So you see these young brothers, they are not just going to be able to have this campus to benefit from, but they are building their own campus, following the legacy of the Tuskegee Institute and other institutions like it. So this is an aerial view of the Lithia Springs Safe Haven property, and essentially what we are building towards is a model, right? So this model has 4 or 5 elements, right? Educational facilities, the organic farm, green homes, recreational spaces, and camping and retreat spaces. So our goal is not to just build and develop this one space, but our goal is for it to become a model that can be replicated and duplicated throughout the country and perhaps throughout the world, right? Here in Atlanta, we want to serve thousands of young people, but even once we get to that point, we won't be satisfied with it until we have an impact on the world. That's what we're going for. That is the objective, and this is where it starts. So again, just to emphasize the importance of this type of space is that the environment is everything. The environment is everything. So the other thing that we have come to realize is that as much as we appreciate everybody's donations and support, we can't continue to ask you forever, right? So we are moving towards sustainability, right? So our young people, they're already learning agriculture. They're already learning vocational skills. They're already learning entrepreneurship. So the idea is that, or really the question is, what would it look like if we were able to take all of these different things that they're learning and build actual industries, build actual companies that would allow for the institution that they are a part of to be sustainable. So a few of the things that we are launching right now, one is called Save Solutions, which is focused on construction, maintenance, and renovation services for our community. Our Save Farm, providing fresh produce, meats, and herbs. And also, you'll see on the table outside some products from our urban pharmacy, right? These are herbs that are grown right in our garden, right on our farm, herbs that were cultivated, developed, turned into medicine, and now it's a product that you can take home and benefit for yourselves and your families. So we're utilizing these things to further teach and instill the idea of entrepreneurship and agriculture, making agriculture real, because it's one thing when you watch food grow, but it's another thing when you can plant the seed, watch it grow, take care of it, harvest it, and turn it into something that you can actually use. It's a very, very dynamic process, an impactful process, right? So this is what we're promoting. And I want to just make it very clear that none of this could be possible without our very, very dynamic team. Right, earlier in the program, we acknowledged our board of directors who have been so very helpful throughout this process. But these are the men who are on the front lines every single day making it happen. These men that you see on the screen have dedicated their lives to this work. right? And in this work, it's not easy. It's not easy at all, but it's work. It's a labor of love. It's a labor of love. So I just want to acknowledge all of our young brothers who have dedicated their lives. So if you could, please stand up. Please stand up. Brother Nail, Brother Muhammad Torre, Brother Dawood, Brother Hassim, Brother Jawad, Brother Nafi, Brother Wali, Brother Jamil, Brother Abdul Rahim. These are brothers that have been on the front lines making it happen, making a difference in the lives of these young people. And I say thank you, because none of this could be possible without you. And lastly, I would like to thank our sponsors for helping to make tonight possible. Right? This is a beautiful evening with so many beautiful people, beautiful faces, and beautiful food in this beautiful environment. So I want to thank again our sponsors for allowing to make this possible tonight. And I want to thank all of you here for being here, taking your time out. You could be in many other places, but I want to thank you for being here. But just know and understand that your presence here is not just to enjoy a nice meal or a nice evening, but it's really an opportunity for our village to come together to support a powerful mission to make a difference in our society. Because I say, my brothers and sisters, enough is enough. Thank you.